23rd, 1996. I am conducting an interview with Helen Leb. Helen, you were telling us about your sister's sickness in Magdeburg, and she was going to be sent back.
I was very hard, not just me, all my sisters. We were very heartbroken. She was a young girl, about 26-year-old. We were very heartbroken and was looking to somehow to know about them. But after that, in Magdeburg, one day they said we don't have to go anymore in the factory to work. And I think the Russian was dropped a bomb on the kitchen. I don't remember it was casualty or not. I cannot remember. But we were alive, and we find out they kept us all together, put that and go. They took us to the river Elba.
Helen, one question just to go back. At this point, Sarah was sent back to Bergen-Belsen.
Yes, yes. We consult each other because we worked a lot. And my sister always told me, maybe for Sarah is better. She's not here.
So you were taken to the Elbe River.
Yeah, they took us to the river Alba, and we sit down. There were a lot of people. It was a lot of people. I think it was more lagers and more factories. And they start to shooting us with the
machine guns?
Yes. And one lady with who I was from the barracks house ghetto, but not from my town, from a different town, but we were always together, she died. And came a Jewish man, like it was before, cut at her, and we went, we have to go. It was no time for nothing. All the dead people, it was there. And we went, we stopped ourselves, we are guarded with security guard from the towns. And I think that because of the front, we have no time to sit down. Day and night we have to go. And one day we met some SS people, and a lot of Ukrainian girl was there, and one of them recognized us, not just me. A lot of people, we worked together with Auschwitz, they worked in the kitchen, and sometimes we had to go to the kitchen to take the food to the people in the barrack. They recognized us and went to the, I don't know, what was his title for this German officer, and said, look, you see these girls? Most of them are Jewish, kill them. The officer was drunk, and he put us next to the wall. So we start to cry, and came from the town. Maybe they watched us from some places. From the town came a lot of civilian people from the town, talked to that officer and said, don't do this here because we cannot take this responsibility. And then I heard the front is too close. So we remain in the life, and we start to run again. Every town or second town, they change the security guard for us, and we run day and night and day and night. No food. In time days, we stopped in Ravensburg. And in Ravensburg, we stayed, I think, I don't know how many days. We stayed there. They give us some cooked potatoes, 4 or 5 potatoes for one of them. Margaret was very sick. I carried her in my arm. She was very sick. And we went and stopped in another place where it was a lot of Hungarian gypsies. They steal from the German homes gooses and chickens and made our chicken soup. And one of them gave me chicken soup for Margaret. And next to us, this was a big arena, a sport arena or something. I don't know what it was. But there it was, army soldiers was prison. How you call them? Army, English and French.
Prisoners of, these were prisoners of war, captured by the Germans.
Well, I heard one of them is yelling, Catherine, Catherine, Catherine. I'm not Catherine, I don't know. And one girl coming said, look to him. I look at to him and give me such a bag with carrots, with raw carrots. And I cleaned up one of them and gave it to Margaret and for my sisters, and who was there from our company, you know. It was very nice. I cannot, because we left in that day.
Was this in Ravensbrück, or was this after you left?
What?
Was this in Ravensbrück that this happened, or was this after you?
It happened when we stopped 1 or 2 hours daytime to stay there, but I don't know the place name.
Would you say that when they took you out to the river and started shooting, they wished to kill everyone, but whoever did not die, they put on this death march?
It didn't. We don't know that, especially me. I don't know what it was. Just I saw we cannot stop. We have to go. In many times our life was in danger. And not next day, not the same civilian guard was with us who took us further.
So they kept running you and running you?
Just one and one, day and night. So, in daytime, sometime, we can stay 1 or 2 hours, you know. In this, it wasn't a camp, just people like us, run for their life. But the gypsies made out chicken soup. And they give me, and the French soldier, who was also a prison, owned by the Germans.
The gypsies were not prisoners of the Germans at this time? They were just gypsies in the countryside?
This was the countryside. This was a countryside. But we cannot run out from the line because they will shoot us.
Did you ever see any planes flying over that were not German planes?
No.
But you heard, did you hear the bombing coming closer?
Yes.
And what were you thinking when you heard the bombing?
It was uncertain, our life, not just in that day, since we get in Birkenau. Since we get in Birkenau, and we have no hair, how I mentioned to you, and have a normal dress, but we have high voltage.
But while you were running, you said the front was coming closer.
In that time, I wished to meet the Americans soldier. But really didn't happen in this way, because we went and at night they took us in a camp in some place. It was no light. And we start to sit down or sleep or take a nap or something and feel something. It was morts, dead bodies, and they took us there. Maybe they want to kill us. They stopped many times, but they were afraid. It was April. It was April. And
1945.
the liberation find us in a bunker. In a bunker in May, in the early May. There, and the German woman came to us and said, the war is over, don't come out, because these are Russian soldiers and they acting very wild.
This was May 7th.
Yeah,
The war was over.
yeah,
And so the German woman warned you
yes.
about the Russians.
Yeah, some of them start to be very nice with us, but maybe it's my nature. I cannot forgive them, and I cannot forget them.
And how many sisters were still with you at that time?
Oh, it was Rose and Margaret. Margaret got better, but Rose got sick, but we were liberated then, and it was a Yugoslav Jewish doctor. When I went to her, I told her, my sister is very sick. And she told me to take her to the, I don't know how, to the...
Infirmary?
Yes. And we took her, and I told the tragedy about Sarah. And she said, not too far from here, and we will go, all the people will go there. It's a lager where a lot of Häftlings came together and look for your sister. Maybe you will find. Go to the hospitals or very sick person. Go and try to look for her. I tried, but I never find her.
Do you remember the exact moment when you learned that the war was over, that Germany had surrendered?
Yes.
Could you describe that?
I remember, and I was very happy. I was very happy. I wish my mother lived through that. And my sister, we were very, very happy, but we just start to prepare ourselves to come home.
And how, in the next few days, did
in
you
the
start
next few
home?
days, we still walked. We still walked together. I don't know how we get to Berlin.
You walked
To
to Berlin.
Yes. And it was there a bridge, and the American soldier said, you want to go over the bridge? Go, because that is the United States. But when you stay here, this is Russia. And I said, you know, I just want to go home to be sure my mother is alive or not.
So they were really warning you
Yeah.
not to stay there.
He was a very nice fellow.
And as you approached Berlin, what did the city look like as you were going near?
Oh, that I cannot, that was what healed me when I saw Berlin. When
Why?
it destroyed. And the German women, how they go to clean up.
How
That
did you
was-
feel when you saw
I
it?
felt good. I felt good. And I want to tell you something. When in the communist country, really, they not was showing too many films what happened with the Jewish people. And maybe that was the reason I didn't told my children. I don't want to make bad feeling for them so early years. It was a show combat with Moro, who was the died that actor, the combat. This with I don't know the other name. I came home from my work to see the combat. How the Americans beating up the Germans. You can imagine this was, I need the money, I should stay at my work, but I have to see it.
How did you feel when you watched it?
I felt good. I felt good. I suffered. How many years I suffered from that?
And you lost so much.
No, it's they paying back. They didn't give me nothing, but I don't want that blood money. They give it to the soldiers who fight in the Russian front and who killed the Jews to get the
Reparations.
belonging. Yeah,
Reparations.
that's what. And for the German also. I got once, I was in Italy for the immigration, and it was there a Romanian lawyer who made out from France some papers. So send me some money. I sent that back letters and ask. I heard they get pension, or they didn't give me nothing.
Let us
No, it was a new organization, excuse me, who is, I gave it to a lawyer because I was unable to answer correct all the questions. He said, you have too much money in the bank.
now.
I don't have too much money in the bank, but more money I have with something what I'm supposed to have. So I have to be a beggar. I came here and I worked hard with my husband, with my children, and we made out a decent life. And I tried to make the best what I can for my faith, for my moral, and for my whole family.
Helen, I would like you to describe how you got back to your hometown after the war.
In Hungary?
The soldiers told you, if you go one way, it's Russia. If you go the other way, it's the United States.
I would like to go to the other way. To
So-
where is the United? This was my dream, a young kid, because I feel always I was cheated from. I cannot represent myself, my moral, my feeling, because I'm Jewish. So I felt they took something from me, from my young age. So I have the dream to come to the United States.
But you wanted to go first to
To
your
see
hometown.
my mother.
Did you walk all the way
And
from?
to see Sarah.
Did you walk all the way to?
No, we got transport. In my way from Berlin, we stopped in Vienna. We stopped in, your husband maybe knows, in Slovakia, Bratislava. It's a beautiful city. And Vienna, I saw beautiful things. And in Prague, I went to see the temple where the rabbi built the golem, but it was closed. Just the Häftling, how they write the names who went to the Holocaust. That's what I see.
The Germans took those temples
Yes,
and they filled them with Jewish things, but closed them to people.
A lot of Gentile people run away from German to Vienna to, they ran away.
When you got back to your town,
I got back, that was in August, when they dropped the bomb in
August 6th,
45.
in 45.
In 45,
the bombs
about
on
in August and something, because then I was in love with MacArthur.
Yes.
I saw him how he write the to make out the peace with
The surrender
right, to surrender.
with Japan.
Yeah, and a young girl I was a big fan for Tito. I liked him because he was fighting with the Germans.
He was fighting with the partisans.
Yeah, with the partisans against the Germans.
But if I may, could you describe what you felt when you returned to your hometown?
I felt bad.
Did you go right to your own house?
I felt bad. We opened the store again, I mentioned to you.
Yes.
And my brother-in-law came, Elizabeth's husband from Transylvania, and asked me and my sister to go there. And later on we will bring Rose also there. So there is more Jews than in my town, and let's be with the Jewish people. I said, you know what, I don't want to leave Rose. Take my sister Margaret, and we will go. My sister Margaret went, he found her husband, the guy with who she's married, Alex Levy. And when it was the wedding, we went to the wedding.
If I may, did you ever go back to your house? The house that you lived in?
Yes. I went back to my house. And they moved out.
Who moved out?
Some Gentile people from there, from the neighbors, occupied our house. Yes.
And was your furniture still there, your clothing?
Nothing.
What happened to that?
The house was ruined. My sister built it up again. The house was ruined because they opened the wall and looked for gold. But they didn't look in the basement. We have a basement, a country basement, not like here. And there, Sarah and me, we have beautiful materials for bedding and materials for clothing and nice things, crystals.
That was still there?
And we made a big grave, and we put in I don't know, you know the custom when in Europe they washing dishes in big dish, washing clothes, in big dish they making hot water. So in that dish we put the materials and the crystals, and maybe it was Sarah put some earrings or something, I don't know.
Some jewelry.
Yeah, in that, and we make it even, didn't see nothing. And we came home with my sister. I'm going to the basement. I opened, and there it was the material. We bought up. The neighbor saw it, went to the Russian police and said, we came home and took out golds and silvers and material. No, that was the people. They were jealous to get back something.
Did anyone say anything to you when you returned? Did they say they were surprised to see you coming back?
Yeah, how come they didn't kill you?
Is that what they said?
Yeah, that was. How come they didn't? And you didn't work hard than us in the field of the agriculture, they said.
How did you feel when they said this to you?
I was very sad. I don't have a pair of shoes for myself. I don't have a dress for myself. Just what Hitler gave me. That was the whole thing.
So how long did you stay in your town?
I asked somebody to make me some dresses and for my sisters from that materials, and I don't know how I get the shoes. I cannot remember, but when I get to my sister's wedding, I have nice things already.
And where was her wedding?
In Transylvania. on the town where Elizabeth lived. There my sister get married. She have two beautiful kids. They went in Israel for
And
8.
And when
And on the wedding I met Simon.
you met Simon at your sister's wedding,
He wants to marry me, and I told her many things. We are not ready yet. He don't have. No, he want to marry me. So everybody there said he's good and to marry. So we made the engagement party, and I went back to Hungary, and came back in January 20th, before a week or 10 days. And it was the wedding, the same place where my sister was.
Simon was not Hungarian. Simon was not Hungarian.
No, he was but they speak Hungarian fluently.
But he was from Romania.
Yeah, but when the father lived there in Borsa, Cluj, then it was Hungary. Then after the war, he was a Hungarian soldier on the first for the father. And after the war, it was Romania. And one of the parts it was to get Czechoslovakia. In one of from the Banat, get Yugoslavia. 3 new countries go out from Trianon. You heard from Trianon? No, for that I have to cry 6 years in the school for Trianon, what they did with Hungary.
Yes, Trianon. You were married and you went to Romania to live.
Yes.
Under the communists.
I married in Romania.
In Romania. You remained there for the rest of the years until you came to the United States.
I lived in Romania 18 years. That is one high. I have 2 beautiful children. And I have the chance to be with them. I was a bookkeeper in Romania also. And I was not engaged in the politics with the communists because I don't have a good Beschreibung from the communists from my mom, who lived out the revolution in Hungary in 1917, 1918. So I just leave them alone. I do my work, I took care of my family, my children, and that's all. I never get award because I was a good bookkeeper, because I was not in the organization of the communism, you know. But nobody bothered me, and I didn't bother nobody. So in 1950, when my little girl, you know the pillows for the baby in Europe, I took her in pillows to go because it was an order from the government who wanna be with the family, can ask for passport. So we asked Teddy and Lily, Simon and me. We went in another city where it was this passport office and to apply.
And we will continue on the next tape.
Okay.